Hello guys, with the continuation of the previous episode, now we have to be look over into web analytics applications. So why we have to be look over into these kind of analytics is then only we can able to understand why we need this kind of that architectures, either Lambda architecture or Hadoop file systems, that is the HDFS. So quickly we have to see what it's saying. So how many number of pages views for that per URL. So this is one kind of that statistics. For the traditional database, we have to be keep some column name and then some IDs, some user IDs, and then URLs, and finally we have to keep the number of the pages that has been viewed. The everything is in the form of that structure. So the traditional system is following the structured based of database management kind of services. So these structured kind of services have certain limitations. So with that limitations, we can't able to be go with a huge volume of the data, even though so when we have to be work with that Excel, so there we are having that certain limitation. Some people are saying, some researchers are saying, so maximum capability of keeping the records in Excel, it's up to that 10 lakhs of that rows, and it may have that certain limited number of the columns. We weren't able to go beyond this huge volume of the data into that Excel. The computation may take that certain time. Sometimes the software may getting into crashed when we have to be handle huge volume of the data. So every traditional database, and then everything, it's having that certain kind of data restrictions. And even though I'm managing with that structured database, and then surely we have to be experience another kind of issue is called, that is the timeout error. So when I am going to retrieve the data through by that data sets, or through by that query, or when I have to be insert the data into the database, but all these things is having the certain issues. So that will lead to the timeout errors. So when I am seriously working with a huge volume of the data, and there I am facing this kind of error, and then that will becoming as a serious issue in case I am presenting all this data through by that dashboard. So take an example of stock markets, either that NSE values or BSE index, whatever it may be. So this data that has been represented in the form of the graphs. So every second the data has been modified by that investors, or by that the person, those who are selling, and by that buying. So every second the data that has been varied. So within that moment, the impact that should be shown in the screen. So in that place, if I am using the traditional database system, so that's not possible. So that will lead to the timeout error. So this is second kind of that issue when we have to be go with the traditional architecture. So why these things happen? So you think so already, so we are keeping that is one server, and then we are having that varieties of that parameters in that server, and we are having that paging, and that's a file handling technology, and we have to be keep that is the certain queue. That means the request that has been put into the queue, and then the worker is in that system, and the database is having that connectivity. So all the queries that has been passed through by these kind of the servers, and through by the queue. So in that case, the buffer that has been increased, so at a time the worker can able to release the queue of that 100 at a time. So always the system is having that certain limitation. So continually we have to be see Now, what are all that other problems that has been happened in the previous kind of that architectures?